Okay, grade 3, let's read chapter number 6, The Taliban. When Malala was around 8 years old, a mullah, a kind of religious leader, started a radio station. The mullah said music and movies and television should be outlawed. He said women should go out only in emergencies. He said girls' school should be outlawed as well. The radio mullah grew more and more popular. He joined forces with the Taliban, a powerful group that began in the nearby country of Afghanistan. The Taliban believed women should not be educated. They used violence and fear to get their way. They burned down girls' school. They made it illegal for women to go shopping. The Taliban beat people and sometimes killed them if they didn't follow these extreme rules. Malala's family hid their television in the closet, but they didn't back down. Her father kept his school open. Malala admired his bravery. Still, she was also scared. Pakistan's army came to Swat Valley to fight the Taliban. At night, the house shook and the skies were bright with bombs. But during the day, Malala and her classmates studied and debated and learned. We will continue our education, said Malala. In January 2009, the Taliban declared that all girls' schools must close by January 15. Fewer and fewer girls came to school or class now. Many teachers quit. People were afraid. Malala's father had a friend who worked with the British Broadcasting Corporation, that means BBC. The friend asked her father if one of his students would write about life under the Taliban. Malala was only 11 years old, but she had watched her father speak out about girls' right to an education. She'd read books about activities like Martin Luther King Jr. and Meena, a woman who fought for women's rights in Afghanistan. She knew she couldn't wait for someone else to speak up for her. Maybe she had a kind of magic pencil after all. Chapter 7, One Voice, the voice of Malala. And so Malala began to write a blog. I am afraid, she wrote in her first entry. She wrote about schools being destroyed, about violence in the streets, and about how sad she was when she couldn't go to school. Malala's words traveled outside Mingora, outside the Swat Valley, and even outside Pakistan. People all over the world read about the Pakistani schoolgirl who was fighting for her right to an education. She is writing her message here. Malala's words reached a reporter for the New York Times. He came to interview her for a film. They can't stop me. I will get my education, if it is in home school or any place, she said. The violence continued. Malala went to school in secret. She didn't wear her uniform. She hid her books under her shawl. And she continued to speak out every chance she got. The girls of Swat are not afraid of anyone, she said bravely. The Taliban and threatened Malala's father before. Now they threatened her. But she would not stop speaking about them against them. On October 9, 2012, Malala was 15 years old. She took her exam as usual that day. Then she headed home to the school bus, Moniba sitting beside her. That was the last thing she would remember from that day. They were sitting in the bus. Thousands of Voices, chapter number 8. Malala woke up a week later in a hospital. She was thousands of miles from home, and she didn't know what had happened. She learned that the Taliban had shot her in the side of the head. Somehow she had survived. She had been airlifted to a hospital in England. The Taliban had tried to silence Malala, but they failed. Reporters told Malala's story. People from all over the world said prayers and sent letters and cards. Children, movie stars, and world leaders wished Malala a speedy recovery. Everyone is giving the prayers to her. People protested against the Taliban and told the world they stood with Malala. Over 2 million people signed the Right to Education petition. She's meeting through the president. Malala recovered and moved to a new home in England with her family. She attended a new school, but Malala's fight for girls' education wasn't over. Millions of girls still aren't able to go to school. Malala travels the world. Speaking about girls' education, she has met the Queen of England and the President of United States. She created the Malala Fund to help girls everywhere get food, shelter, and an education. On Malala's 16th birthday, the whole world celebrated Malala Day. The girl whose name wasn't supposed to be worth writing down gave a speech before the United Nations. Children from over 90 countries filled the audience. Millions of people watched at home. We realize the importance of our voice. When we are silenced, she said, one child, one teacher, one pen, and one book can change the world. Malala was right. She had spoken up and people had heard her. In 2014, at the age of 17, she became the youngest person ever to win the Nobel Peace Prize. She was the first, or I can say she is the youngest one who have won the Nobel Peace Prize. Malala's voice, her willingness to take a stand had changed the world. She is the real Malala, hero for all of us who got the Alfred Nobel Prize in our youngest age. So, how can you help? Go to Malala organization site and you can read about Malala in the autobiography I Am Malala, the Young Reader edition. I hope you all like this story and you all like the life of Malala, how she fought for the girls' education.